Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is the 1982 Cleveland Indians MLB baseball season. Again, the tribe was playing in the American League East, the American League, the junior circuit of Major League Baseball, and home games were played at Cleveland Municipal Stadium downtown, where the Cleveland Browns football stadium now stands. The tribe had a tough year in 1982, finished in 6th place with a record of 78-84, winning percentage of .481, 17 games out of first. First place team was the Milwaukee Brewers, who were 95 and 67, winning percentage of .586. Second place, the Baltimore Orioles, 94 and 68, 1 game out of first. Third place, the Boston Red Sox, 89 and 73. Fourth place, the Detroit Tigers, 83 and 79. Fifth place, the New York Yankees, 79 and 83. Sixth place, the Cleveland Indians, 78 and 84. And seventh and last place, the Toronto Blue Jays, also 78 and 84, winning percentage of .481, 17 games out of first. In the American League West, the California Angels finished in first, record of 93 and 69, winning percentage of .574. Second place, the Kansas City Royals, 90 and 72, 3 games out of first. Third place, the Chicago White Sox, 87 and 75. Fourth place, the Seattle Mariners, 76 and 86. Fifth place, the Oakland A's, 68 and 94. Sixth place, the Texas Rangers, 64 and 98. And in seventh and last place, the Minnesota Twins, 60 and 102, winning percentage of .370, 33 games out of first. Tribe attendance in 1982 was 1,044,021, an average of 12,889 per game. 1982, the Baseball Hall of Fame inducted Frank Robinson and Henry Aaron. I read a fine book. Its title is Harvey's Wallbangers, the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers, edited by Gregory H. Wolk, Society for American Baseball Research in 2020. Now, in 1982, again, the tribe owner was Steve O'Neill. He was the tribe owner from 1978 to 1983. Steve O'Neill. The president of the Indians was Gabe Paul. He was tribe GM from 1961 to 1968, and from 1971 to 1973. He was tribe president from 1978 to 1984. Gabe Paul. Phil Seggy was the general manager. He was tribe GM from 1973 to 1985. Phil Seggy. Herb Score was back on broadcasting games on the radio on 3WE. Herb Score was a tribe player from 1955 to 1959 and a tribe TV and radio broadcaster from 1964 to 1997, and he's buried in Lakewood Park Cemetery in Rocky River, Ohio. Herb Score. His partner on the radio was Nev Chandler. Chandler was a Cleveland Indians broadcaster from 1980 to 1984, a Cleveland Browns broadcaster from 1985 to 1993, Cleveland Cavaliers TV broadcaster from 1982 to 1985, and he's also buried in Lakewood Park Cemetery in Rocky River, Ohio. Nev Chandler. Joe Tate was on television, broadcasting Indians games on WUAB TV. Tate was a tribe radio broadcaster from 1973 to 1979, a tribe TV broadcaster from 1980 to 1987, and Cleveland Cavaliers radio broadcaster from 1970 to 2011. Joe Tate. Bruce Drennan was his partner on television. Drennan was a tribe TV broadcaster from 1980 to 1982. Bruce Drennan. Joe Castiglione was on cable TV, 10 TV, Castiglione was a TV broadcaster at WJKW in 1979. Joe Castiglione. His partner was Bob Feller on cable TV, 10 TV. Feller was a cable TV broadcaster from 1982 to 1983, tribe player from 1936 to 1941, and from 1945 to 1956. He was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1962, and there's a statue of Bob Feller outside of Progressive Field today. Bob Feller. The tribe manager in 1982 was Dave Garcia. Garcia was a Tribe coach from 1975 to 1976 and in 1979. Tribe manager from 1979 to 1982, so this was the end of his time in Cleveland. He continued as a coach with the Colorado Rockies until 2002 and died in 2018 at age 97. Dave Garcia. Johnny Gorel was the third base coach. Gorel was a Tribe coach from 1982 to 1988 and from 1997 to 1998. Gorel was born in 1933 in Cumberland, Rhode Island, and he's 91 years old in 2025. As an MLB player, he batted .225 with 16 home runs and 48 RBIs. He was a second baseman, third baseman. As an MLB manager, he was 34 and 38, winning percentage of .472. As an MLB player, he played for the Chicago Cubs from 1957 to 1959, Minnesota Twins from 1962 to 1964, and he was a manager for the Twins in 1980 to 1981. He's currently a special advisor for player development for the Cleveland Guardians. He's in the Kinston Pro Baseball Hall of Fame, inducted in 2002. He won the Mike Coolbaugh Award in 2012 for his work ethic, knowledge of the game, and mentoring young players. The minors, he played for the Denver Bears, Eau Claire Bears, Memphis Chickasaws, Minneapolis Millers, and Tulsa Oilers, and in Cuba for Cienfuegos. He was a manager in the minors for the Twins from 1966 to 1968 and from 1970 to 1978. Twins coach from 1968 to 1969 and from 1979 to 1980. Johnny Gorel. Tom McCraw was the hitting coach. McCraw was a Tribe player in 1972 and from 1974 to 1975. He was a Tribe coach in 1975 and from 1979 to 1982. This was the end of his time in Cleveland. His coaching career lasted until 2005 with the Washington Nationals. And he's 84 years old in 2025. Tom McCraw. Mel Queen was the pitching coach. Queen was the Tribe coach just in 1982. He was born in 1942 in Johnson City, New York, died in Morro Bay, California in 2011 at age 69. He was a pitcher, an outfielder, and manager. As a pitcher, he was 20-17 with an ERA of 3.14 and 306 strikeouts. He was an MLB player from 1964 to 1972 with the Cincinnati Reds and the California Angels. He managed the Toronto Blue Jays in 1997. He was a coach for Toronto from 96 to 99. He was also a scout and an executive. Mel Queen's father, Mel Queen Sr., was an MLB pitcher from 1942 to 1952 with the New York Yankees, Pittsburgh Pirates. In the minors, he was a pitching coach for Cleveland. Mel Queen was a manager in the minors for the Bakersfield Dodgers in 1985. He's the brother-in-law of Jim Lonborg, who was an MLB pitcher. In the minors, Mel Queen played for the Macon Peaches, the Palatka Redlegs, Seattle Rainiers, and in Mexico for Petroleros de Poza Rica, and in Venezuela for Tigres de Aragua. Mel Queen. Dennis Summers was the first base coach. Summers was a Tribe coach from 1980 to 1985, and he won the Cleveland baseball writers Frank Gibbons, Steve Olin Good Guy Award for 1982. Dennis Summers. Now the everyday lineup, Ron Hassey was the catcher. Hassey batted .251 with 81 hits, 33 runs scored, 18 doubles, 5 home runs, 34 RBIs in 113 games. And Hassey was with Cleveland from 1978 to 1984. Ron Hassey. Mike Hargrove was at first base. Hargrove batted .271 with 160 hits. He scored 67 runs, 26 doubles, a triple, 4 home runs, 65 RBIs, 101 walks in 160 games. Hargrove was a Tribe player from 1979 to 1985, Tribe coach from 1990 to 1991, Tribe manager from 1991 to 1999, and he helped the Tribe win 2 American League pennants in 1995 and 1997, and he's in the Cleveland Indians Hall of Fame. Mike Hargrove. Jack Perconte was the second baseman. Perconte batted .237 with 52 hits, scored 27 runs, 4 doubles, 4 triples, 15 RBIs, 9 stolen bases in 93 games. Perconte was born in 1954 in Joliet, Illinois, and he's 70 years old in 2025. For his career, he batted .270 with 2 home runs, 76 RBIs, and 78 stolen bases. He was an MLB player from 1980 to 1986, with the LA Dodgers, Cleveland Indians, Seattle Mariners, and Chicago White Sox. He's the author of 5 books, 365 Peak Sports Mentality Quotes, The Success Trail, Learn How to Win with a Marathon Runner's Mindset, Creating a Season to Remember, the new Youth Sports Coaching Leadership Handbook, The Making of a Hitter, a proven and practical step-by-step baseball guide, and Raising an Athlete, How to Instill Confidence, Build Skills, and Inspire a Love of Sport. He ran in 18 marathons. In the minors, he played for the Buffalo Bison, Calgary Cannons, Charleston Charlies, and in Venezuela for Tigres de Aragua. He was traded to the Tribe by the LA Dodgers on December 9, 1981, with Rick Sutcliffe for George Orda, Larry White, and Jack Fimple. He was a podcast guest on the American Sports History Podcast, episode 84, with yours truly on the Peter J. Ray YouTube channel. Jack Perconte. Mike Fischlin was the shortstop. He batted .268 with 74 hits, 34 runs scored, 12 doubles, a triple, 21 RBIs, 9 stolen bases in 112 games. And Fischlin was a Tribe player from 1981 to 1985. Mike Fischlin. Toby Harrah was at third base. Harrah batted .304 with 183 hits, scored 100 runs, 29 doubles, 4 triples, 25 home runs, 78 RBIs, 17 stolen bases, 84 walks in 162 games. And Harrah was a Tribe player from 1979 to 1983. He was on the 1982 American League All-Star team, and he was the 1982 Cleveland Indians Co-Man of the Year. Toby Harrah. Miguel Delaney was in left field. Delaney batted .235 with 89 hits. He scored 50 runs, 12 doubles, 3 triples, 3 home runs, 25 RBIs, 33 stolen bases in 104 games. And Delaney was a Tribe player from 1980 to 1983. Miguel Delaney. Rick Manning was in center field. Manning batted .270 with 152 hits, 71 runs scored, 18 doubles, 2 triples, 8 home runs, 44 RBIs, 12 stolen bases in 152 games. Manning was a Tribe player from 1975 to 1983, and he's been the Cleveland Indians and Guardians TV broadcaster from 1990 to the present. Rick Manning. Von Hayes was in right field. Hayes batted .250 with 152 hits, 65 runs scored, 25 doubles, 3 triples, 14 home runs, 82 RBIs, 32 stolen bases in 150 games. Hayes was with Cleveland from 1981 to 1982. So this was the end of his time in Cleveland. He was an MLB player until 1992 with the California Angels. On December 9, 1982, he was traded by Cleveland to Philadelphia Phillies for Manny Trio, George Vukovich, Julio Franco, Jerry Willard, and Jay Baller. In Philadelphia, Pete Rose gave him the nickname 5 for 1. And on ESPN, Chris Berman called him Von Purple Hayes. Takeoff on the song by Jimi Hendrix. Von Hayes. Andre Thornton was a designated hitter. Thornton batted .273 with 161 hits. He scored 90 runs, 26 doubles, a triple, 32 home runs, 116 RBIs, 109 walks in 161 games. And Thornton was with Cleveland from 1977 to 1987. He's on the 1982 American League All-Star team, and he won the Cleveland Indians. He was the Cleveland Indians Co-Man of the Year in 1982. Andre Thornton. Now, the bench players included Alan Bannister, who was a utility player. Bannister batted .267 with 93 hits, scored 40 runs, 16 doubles, a triple, 4 home runs, 41 RBIs, 18 stolen bases in 101 games, and Bannister was a Tribe player from 1980 to 1983. Alan Bannister. Larry Milbourne played second base. He batted .275 with 80 hits, 29 runs scored, 11 doubles, 4 triples, 2 home runs, 25 RBIs in 82 games. And Milbourne was with Cleveland just in 1982. He was born in 1951 in Port Norris, New Jersey, and he's 74 years old in 2025. For his career, he batted .254 with 11 home runs and 184 RBIs and 41 stolen bases. Milbourne was an MLB player from 1974 to 1983 with the Houston Astros, Seattle Mariners, New York Yankees, Minnesota Twins, Cleveland Indians, and Philadelphia Phillies. He was a 1974 Topps All-Star rookie, and Most of his career he played second base. He also played shortstop, third base, and left field. Milburn was a switch hitter. In the minors, he played for the Bluefield Orioles, Calgary Cannons, Decatur Commodores, Iowa Oaks, Memphis Blues, Orlando Juice, Shreveport Captains, St. Lucie Legends, and the Tulsa Oilers. As I said, he was just with Cleveland in 1982. On July 3rd, 1982, he was traded by the Minnesota Twins to the Tribe for Larry Littleton. On December 9th of 82, he was sold by the Tribe to the Philadelphia Phillies. Larry Milbourne. Jerry Dybsinski played some shortstop. Dybsinski batted .231 with 49 hits, 19 runs scored, 6 doubles, 2 triples, 22 RBIs in 80 games. And Dybsinski was with Cleveland from 1980 to 1982. This was the end of his time in Cleveland. He was an MLB player until 1985 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. On April 1st, 1983, he was traded to the Chicago White Sox for Pat Tabler, and he won the 1982 Gordon Cobbledick Golden Tomahawk Award. The kid from Collinwood in the Cleveland area, Jerry Dybsinski. Chris Bando was a spare catcher, younger brother of Sal Bando, Oakland A's star. Chris Bando batted .212 with 39 hits, 13 runs scored, 6 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs, 16 RBIs in 66 games. And Chris Bando was with Cleveland from 1981 to 1988. Chris Bando. Carmelo Carmen Castillo was an outfielder. They called him Carmen. He batted .208 with 25 hits, scored 11 runs, 4 doubles, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs in 47 games. Carmen Castillo was born in 1958 in San Francisco de Macorís, Dominican Republic. He died in 2015 in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic at age 57 of heart problems. For his MLB career, he batted .252 with 55 home runs and 197 RBIs. He's with Cleveland from 1982 to 1988, the Minnesota Twins from 1989 to 1991. In the minors, he played for the Charleston Charlies, Chattanooga Lookouts, Denver Zephyrs. In Mexico, he played for Olmecas de Tabasco. Carmen Castillo. Bill Naharadny was also a spare catcher. Naharadny batted .223 with 21 hits. He scored 6 runs, 5 doubles, a triple, 4 home runs, 18 RBIs in 39 games. Naharadny was born in 1953 in Hamtramck, Michigan. He's 71 years old in 2025. For his career, he batted .241 with 25 home runs and 109 RBIs. He was with Cleveland just in 1982. His MLB career lasted from 1976 to 1984 with the Philadelphia Phillies, Chicago White Sox, Atlanta Braves, Cleveland Indians, Detroit Tigers, and Seattle Mariners. In the minors, he played for the Salt Lake City Gulls, Oklahoma City 89ers, Evansville Triplets, and Portland Beavers, and Charleston Charlies, and the Toledo Mud Hens. In the Dominican Republic, he played for Águilas Cibaeñas. Bill Naharadny. Bake McBride played some right field. McBride batted .365 with 31 hits. He scored 8 runs, 3 doubles, 3 triples, 13 RBIs in 27 games. McBride was born in 1949 in Fulton, Missouri. He's 76 years old in 2025. For his career, he batted .299 with 63 home runs, 430 RBIs, and 183 stolen bases. He was with Cleveland in 1982 and 1983. His MLB career lasted from 1973 to 1983 with the St. Louis Cardinals, Philadelphia Phillies, and Cleveland Indians. He was an All-Star in 1976. He won a World Series championship in 1980 with Philadelphia. He was a National League Rookie of the Year in 1974. He's in the Philadelphia Phillies Wall of Fame. They called him Shake and Bake and the Callaway Kid. 1980 World Series, McBride hit a 3-run home run in Game 1. He was plagued by injuries, especially to his knees, and illness. In 1982, he had an eye infection from contact lenses and missed most of the season. In the minor leagues, he was a coach for the Mets and Cardinals. His father was Arnold McBride, who pitched in the Negro League for the Kansas City Monarchs. Vic McBride was a football star at Fulton High School in Fulton, Missouri. He was an all-state in high school basketball and track. The high school had no baseball team. At Westminster College, Missouri, he set a school record in the 200-meter dash. In MLB, he had one of the largest afro hairstyles. 1974, with the St. Louis Cardinals, teammate Lou Brock had 118 stolen bases and McBride 30. This was a record for total stolen bases for two teammates ever. 1977, on the Cardinals, McBride and teammate Al Raboski had a conflict with manager Vern Rapp regarding facial hair. 1989, he played for the St. Petersburg Pelicans in the Senior Professional Baseball Association. The minors, he played for the Arkansas Travelers, Tulsa Oilers, Oklahoma City 89ers. Also in the Senior Professional Baseball League Association for the Orlando Juice. On February 16, 1982, he was traded by the Philadelphia Phillies to Cleveland for Sid Monge. Big McBride. Rodney Craig was an outfielder. Craig batted .231 with 15 hits, 7 runs scored, 2 doubles, a triple, 3 stolen bases in 49 games. And Craig was born in 1958 in Los Angeles, California. He died in 2013 in LA at age 55. For his career, he batted .256 with 3 home runs, 27 RBIs, 7 stolen bases. He was just with Cleveland in 1982. His MLB career, he was with the Seattle Mariners in 1979 and 1980 and the Chicago White Sox in 1986. He was stabbed to death in a homeless encampment in Los Angeles. After his baseball career, he struggled with mental illness and became homeless. In 2004, he was in a fight with a homeless person, and Craig struck him with a rock. He was sent to the state psychiatric hospital. In 2013, Craig got in a fight with 2 men in a homeless encampment in L.A. One of the 2 men, Billy Morales, fatally stabbed Craig to death. Morales was convicted of the murder in 2015 and sentenced to 16 years to life in prison. Rodney Craig and the minors played for the Buffalo Bisons, Charleston Charlies, and the Maine Guides, as well as the Rochester Red Wings, Salinas Spurs, and San Jose Missions, and the Tidewater Tides. In Venezuela, he played for Navegantes del Magallanes. On March 26, 1982, he was traded to the Tribe by the Seattle Mariners for Wayne Cage. Rodney Craig. Joe Charbonneau played some outfield. Charbonneau batted .214 with 12 hits. He scored 7 runs, 2 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs in 22 games. This was the end of his MLB career. Charbonneau was with Cleveland from 1980 to 1982. He will be forever remembered for the magical year of 1980. Super Joe Charbonneau. Carl Pagel played some first base. Pagel batted .167 with 3 hits, 2 RBIs, 7 walks in 23 games, and Pagel was with Cleveland from 1981 to 1983. Carl Pagel. Kevin Romberg was a utility player. Romberg batted .333 with 6 hits in 18 at-bats. He scored 3 runs, had a home run, and an RBI in 16 games. Romberg was born in 1955 in Dubuque, Iowa. He's 62 years old in 2025. For his career, he batted .383 with 1 home run, 3 RBIs in 41 games. He was with Cleveland from 1982 to 1984. He had a compulsion that if someone touched him, he needed to touch them back. In Dubuque, Iowa High School, he played from the first state championship in that school's history. At Lewis University in the NAIA, he was in the World Series champion. He was a World Series champion in college. Now, opposing players like to touch Romberg and run off. Rick Sutcliffe touched Romberg under a bathroom stall. Romberg went around the clubhouse touching all the players. If a player eluded a return touch, Romberg sent him a letter and said, "This constitutes a touch." This was his belief, that it would be bad luck that he didn't touch people who touched him. When he retired as a player, he was a scout for the Cleveland Indians. He was a college baseball head coach at CSU, Lakeland Community College. He's the owner of the Lorain County Ironmen team in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League, a college for college players in the summer. His manager and friend was Joe Charbonneau. The minors, Romberg played for the Batavia Trojans, Charleston Charlies, and Maine Guides. Kevin Romberg. Now the pitching staff, the ace pitcher was Len Barker, was 15-11 with an ERA of 3.90, 33 games, 33 starts, 10 complete games, and a shutout. Barker pitched 244 and two-thirds innings pitched, 187 strikeouts, and Barker was with Cleveland from 1979 to 1983. Large Lenny Barker. Rick Sutcliffe was 14-8 with an ERA of 2.96, 34 games, 24 starts, 6 complete games, a shutout, 1 save, 216 and a third innings pitched, 142 strikeouts. Rick Sutcliffe was with Cleveland from 1982 to 1984. He was born in 1956 in Independence, Missouri. He's 69 years old in 2025. For his career, he won 171 games, lost 139, ERA of 4.08 and 1,679 strikeouts. He was an MLB player from 1976 to 1994 with the LA Dodgers, Cleveland Indians, Chicago Cubs, Baltimore Orioles, and St. Louis Cardinals. He was an All-Star in 1983, 1987, and 1989. He won the National League Cy Young Award in 1984 with the Cubs and helped them get to the brink of the World Series into the NLCS. He was a National League Rookie of the Year in 1979. He won the Roberto Clemente Award in 1987. He was a National League Wins Leader in 1987, American League ERA Leader in 1982. He's in the Chicago Cubs Hall of Fame. They called him the Red Baron. He's currently a broadcaster for ESPN on the Marquee Sports Network. He won a World Series in 1981 with the Dodgers. As I said, he was in the NLCS with the Cubs in 1984. He won the Roberto Clemente Award for Sportsmanship and Community Involvement in 1988. He stole home in a game. He was a pitching coach for the Idaho Falls Paulies. He was a color commentator for the Padres. He recovered from colon cancer. He's featured in the book The Wax Pack by Brad Balukshian, who interviewed him. And that was discussed in the American Sports History Podcast, episode 152. Yours truly, Peter J. Ray, host, and the guest was Brad Balukshian. He's a speaker for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He played in the minors for the Louisville Redbirds, Albuquerque Dukes, and Peoria Chiefs, in Venezuela for Tigres de Aragua. Rick Sutcliffe. Larry Sorensen was 10-15 with an ERA of 5.61, 32 games, 30 starts, 6 complete games, a shutout, 189 and a third innings pitched, and 62 strikeouts. Sorensen was with Cleveland from 1982 to 1983. He was born in 1955 in Detroit, Michigan. He's 69 years old in 2025. His pitching record for his career, he was 93 and 103, ERA of 4.15, 569 strikeouts. He was an MLB player from 1977 to 1988 with the Milwaukee Brewers, St. Louis Cardinals, Cleveland Indians, Oakland A's, Chicago Cubs, Montreal Expos, and San Francisco Giants. He was an All-Star in 1978. He had trouble with alcohol and drugs. He was arrested for drunk driving 7 times and served time in prison. He's an MLB broadcaster. He was a college sports broadcaster. The minors, he played for the Chattanooga Lookouts, in Venezuela for Leones de Caracas. He was traded to the Tribe in a 3-team trade by the St. Louis Cardinals with Silvio Martinez. The Tribe sent Bo Diaz to the Phillies, and the Phillies sent Lonnie Smith to the Cardinals. He was a guest on the American Sports History Podcast, episode 156, hosted by yours truly on the Peter J. Ray on the Peter J. Ray YouTube channel. Larry Sorensen. John Denny was 6-11 with an ERA of 5.01. 21 games, all starts, 5 complete games, 138 innings in the third innings pitched, 94 strikeouts. John Denny was with Cleveland from 1980 to 1982. On September 11th, 1982, he was traded by the Tribe to the Philadelphia Phillies for Will Cullimer, Jerry Reed, and Roy Smith. So this was the end of his time in Cleveland. His MLB career continued until 1986 with the Cincinnati Reds. John Denny. Rick Waits was 2-13 with an ERA of 5.40, 25 games, 21 starts, 2 complete games, 115 innings pitched, and 44 strikeouts. Waits was with Cleveland from 1975 to 1983. Rick Waits. Dan Spillner was the closer. Spillner was 12-10 with an ERA of 2.49, 65 games, 21 saves, 133 and 2/3 innings pitched, and 90 strikeouts. Spillner was with Cleveland from 1978 to 1984. Dan Spillner. Ed Whitson was 4-2 with an ERA of 3.26, 40 games, 9 starts, a complete game, a shutout, so he was mostly in the bullpen. 2 saves, 107 and 2/3 innings pitched, and 61 strikeouts. Whitson was just with Cleveland in 1982. He was born in 1955 in Johnson City, Tennessee, and he's 70 years old in 2025. For his career, he won 126 games, lost 123, ERA of 3.79 and 1,266 strikeouts. Ed Whitson was in MLB from 1977 to 1991 with the Pittsburgh Pirates, San Francisco Giants, Cleveland Indians, San Diego Padres, and New York Yankees. He was an All-Star in 1980. 1984, he won a National League title with the Padres. 1985 with the Yankees, he got into a bar fight with manager Billy Martin. The minors, he played for the Columbus Clippers and Las Vegas Stars. On November 14, 1981, he was traded to the Tribe by the San Francisco Giants for Dwayne Kuiper. On November 18, 1982, he was traded by the Tribe to the San Diego Padres for Juan Eichelberger and Broderick Perkins. Ed Whitson. Tom Brennan was 4-2 with an ERA of 4.27, 30 games, 4 starts, 2 saves, 92 and 2/3 innings pitched, and 46 strikeouts. Brennan was with Cleveland from 1981 to 1983. Tom Brennan. Bud Anderson was 3-4 with an ERA of 3.35, 25 games, 5 starts, a complete game, 80 and 2/3 innings pitched, and 44 strikeouts. Anderson was with Cleveland from 1982 to 1983. And that was the extent of his MLB career. He was born in 1956 in Westbury, New York. He's 69 years old in 2025. For his career, he was 4-10 with an ERA of 3.68, 76 strikeouts. In college, he played for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights baseball team. The minors, he played for the Stockton Mariners, Chattanooga Lookouts, Charleston Charlies, Maine Guides, Tidewater Tides, and he played in the Senior Professional Baseball League for the Fort Myers Sun Sox. On March 9, 1980, he was traded to the Tribe with Rafael Vasquez for Ted Cox. Bud Anderson. Ed Glynn was 5-2 with an ERA of 4.17, 47 games, 4 saves, 49 and 2/3 innings pitched, and 54 strikeouts. Ed Glynn was with Cleveland from 1981 to 1983 and famously depicted in Terry Pluta's book, Our Tribe, or The Curse of Rocky Colavito, for his conflict with Ed Glynn. Ed Glynn. Neil Heaton was 0-2 with an ERA of 5.23, 8 games, 31 innings pitched, and 14 strikeouts. Heaton was with Cleveland from 1982 to 1986. He was born in 1960 in Jamaica, New York. He's 65 years old in 2025. His MLB career was from 1982 to 1993 with the Cleveland Indians, Minnesota Twins, Montreal Expos, Pittsburgh Pirates, Kansas City Royals, Milwaukee Brewers, and New York Yankees. He was a National League All-Star in 1990 with the Pirates. He is in the Suffolk Sports Hall of Fame in Long Island, inducted in 1997. He played for the Miami Hurricanes college baseball team. The minors, he played for the Charleston Charlies, Chattanooga Lookouts, and Denver Zephyrs. He's in the College Baseball Hall of Fame. He was drafted by the Tribe as a free agent in 1981. Neil Heaton. Bert Blyleven was 2-2 with an ERA of 4.87, 4 games, all starts, 20 1/3 innings pitched, and 19 strikeouts. Blyleven was with Cleveland from 1981 to 1985. He had major elbow surgery in 1982 and missed most of the season. Bert Blyleven. Jerry Reed was 1-1 with an ERA of 3.45, 6 games, a start, 15 2/3 innings pitched, and 10 strikeouts. Reed was with Cleveland from 1982 to 1983 and in 1985. He was born in 1955 in Bryson City, North Carolina, and he's 69 years old in 2025. His MLB career was from 1981 to 1990 with the Philadelphia Phillies, Cleveland Indians, Seattle Mariners, Boston Red Sox. Played for the Western Carolina University baseball team in Callaway, North Carolina. He threw the first no-hitter in the history of the team. In the minors, he played for the Calgary Cannons, Charleston Charlies, Maine Guides, Oklahoma City 89ers, and Peninsula Pilots. In the Senior Professional Baseball League, he played for the St. Petersburg Pelicans. On September 12, 1982, he was traded by the Philadelphia Phillies with Will Comer and Roy Smith for John Denny. Jerry Reed. John Bonnet had no decisions, an ERA of 6.94. 3 games, all starts, 11 2/3 innings pitched, and 4 strikeouts. His MLB career was just with Cleveland in 1982. He was born in 1961 in Pasadena, California. He's 64 years old in 2025. He was drafted by the Tribe in the first round in the 1979 MLB draft. In the minors, he played for the Batavia Trojans, Waterloo Indians, Chattanooga Lookouts, and Buffalo Bisons. John Bonnet. Sandy Whittall had no decisions, an ERA of 4.63, 6 games, 11 2/3 innings pitched, and 8 strikeouts. Whittall was with Cleveland from 1979 to 1980, and in 1982. This was the end of his MLB career. Sandy Whittall. Dennis Llewellyn was 0-1 with an ERA of 6.97, 4 games, 10 1/3 innings pitched, and 3 strikeouts. Llewellyn was with Cleveland from 1981 to 1982, and this was the end of his MLB career. Dennis Llewellyn. The American League Championship Series, the postseason, October baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers American League East champions defeated the California Angels National League West champions 3 games to 2 games, and the MVP was Fred Lynn for the Angels on the losing team. The National League Championship Series, the St. Louis Cardinals, National League East champions, defeated the Atlanta Braves, National League West champions, in a sweep 3 games to nothing. The MVP was Darrell Porter with the Cardinals. In the World Series, the St. Louis Cardinals, National League champions, defeated the Milwaukee Brewers, American League champions, 4 games to 3 games. The MVP was Darrell Porter with the Cardinals. Hall of Famers in the World Series for the Cardinals, Whitey Herzog, the manager, Jim Kaat, Ozzie Smith, and Bruce Sutter. For the Brewers, Raleigh Fingers, Paul Molitor, Ted Simmons, Don Sutton, and Robin Yount. The 1982 Cardinals were the first team to win the division and finish last in the league in home runs with only 67 home runs. Manager Whitey Herzog believed that speed could be the focal point of a baseball team on offense. The 1982 World Series was called the Suds Series because they were 2 beer-making cities, St. Louis and Milwaukee. This was the first World Series team where the most home runs, the Brewers, played against the team with the least home runs, the Cardinals. Herzog's plan was speed, pitching, and defense, and use all 25 men. World Series MVP Darrell Porter had recovered from alcoholism and drug addiction and said, quote, "I didn't know I'd ever feel this good again. I've got a wonderful wife and a beautiful little girl. I haven't had a drink or a drug in 2.5 years, and now I'm a winner. Ever since I was a little leaguer, I wanted to be on a world championship team, and now my dreams have come true. God brought me back from the brink of hell, one slow, painful step at a time. He carried me all the way. He has crowned my life with love and goodness, and I know that he will carry me through all the days of my life." Gregory H. Wolfe wrote about the 1982 Brewers, quote, "Despite the loss, the Brewers were still champions, at least in the hearts of their fans. Upon returning to Milwaukee, the team was feted by a grand parade. 4 decades later, Harvey's Wallbangers still hold a special place in Milwaukee sports lore." Brewers owner Bud Selig, later MLB commissioner, said this about manager Harvey Keene, who was traded to Cleveland for Rocky Colavito in 1960, quote, "Harvey was the perfect manager for that club. Just let the club play was his philosophy. These guys know how to play. Harvey was so unassuming and didn't overmanage. He did a brilliant job." Harvey Keene said, quote, "Every player on this team is like a son of mine, and they gave it all they had." On the 82 Brewers, they had 2 pitching coaches who were former Tribe pitchers, Cal McClish and Pat Dobson. Now the awards for 1982 were the MVP In the American League was Robin Yount of the Brewers, National League Dale Murphy of the Atlanta Braves, Cy Young Award winners in the American League Pete Vukovich for the Brewers, the National League Steve Carlton for the Phillies. Well, that concludes today's presentation. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.